Next, step 13, we're going to begin adding room labels. So I need to change layer. We created a layer, looks like room labels layer. And you've got to look close at the book. They tell you, first of all, to change the standard text font style to Stylus BT. If you let the annotation ribbon drop, go to Style. We're going to change from TXT, which looks like an alarm clock, to Stylus BT. It's going to look more like handwriting. I'm going to set that current and hit close. Now, I'm going to pick multi-line text, and I'm going to start right here. It looks like a living area. So I'm going to make a box, but they tell me the text height of the room labels is 6 inch. So up here under style where it says 3/16, I need to replace that with 6. Enter. Then I can begin to type living area. And click out. So, okay, what else do I got? Bedroom. This is going to be a bedroom. Oh, notice it did not default to 6 inch. That's okay. I'll change it again, and I'll change that where it can't do the bedroom. Okay. What else do we got? Up here is going to be the bunk room. Notice I did not change the text size, so I'm going to have to click on it and change that to 6. Here's another thing you could do. Go back to text style and change the height here to 6 inch. Set that current. And that way, it'll be set. This is going to be a bath. So let's see, text, box, bath. Okay. Dining. This is a little dining area in here. And they don't label the kitchen. But next, what we need to do, they tell us that the callouts are going to be 4 inch text height. Now you've got to look close at the book. So like stacked washer and dryer. Well, that's a little bit smaller than like dining room. And then you'll notice things like prefab per spec, fireplace per spec. Well, that's even smaller than stacked washer and dryer. So some of these are 6, skip 5, 4, and 3. Some of these, the room labels are going to be 6 inch, but some of them are going to be 4 inch. So like stacked washer and dryer, you're going to want to create text height 4 inch. So this is going to be stacked. Oh, before you type, let me change text height. Let me go up here and reprogram text height to 4. And then type stacked washer and dryer. Actually, they don't use the word and, so stacked washer dryer, okay. Then you've got some that are going to be 3 inch. So I'm going to pick multi-line text, make a box. Now, notice when you go to pick the other corner, you can hit rotation. That's where I'm going to put 90 degrees in there. Then I'm going to make my box. Notice it's right side up. This text height appears to be a 3 inch. So I'm going to make sure to program that to 3. And this is prefab fireplace per spec. Okay, so that's how you're going to put text. Go ahead and do that throughout the whole problem 13. Look closely at the problem. Make sure to label everything. There's a few in there like linen and one rod, one shelf. We're going to get to that too. All those have to be put in. So go ahead and put those in. Speaking of one rod, one shelf, somehow the textbook didn't mention, but we need to put shelves. You've got a linen closet right here. Over here is going to be a pantry, and these are going to be closets, one for the bunk room, one for the bedroom. So we created layers, I believe. Let's see, shelves layer. Yep. So I'm going to go to the shelves layer. Shelves are going to be 12-inch. In other words, a foot. This closet is 2 foot deep. So I'm going to go offset. I'm going to change my layer from source, which is the original, to current. And type 12. I'm going to offset the back of this closet forward and the back of this closet forward. Very good. Now, closed rods are a little bit different. They're going to be a dash line because they're hidden. So we need to draw for those. Now, we did not create a layer, closed rod layer. We did not create one. Closed rod is going to be a hidden line. So what I could do is this. I could go offset. They're going to come away from the wall 10-inch, not 12, but 10. So I'm going to offset 2. Just offset the edge of the shelf backward and the edge of this shelf backward. But I need to select them. Go to the properties. Maybe give it a slightly different color and change its line weight. Being that they're hidden lines, they're going to be 0.3 millimeter. And press line type here, make them into hidden. So that's how we're going to deal with that situation. Okay. Next, we've got this linen closet here. And if you look at the problem, we don't know how much shelf to put. But what I can do is measure. We'll see how deep this linen area is. Oh, it looks to be 1'8". So 12 and 8 is going to give you 20. So, and it looks like in the book they come out just a little less. We're going to go offset and let's go 18 instead of 20. So I'm going to offset a line out 18. That's fine. What about the pantry? Well, the pantry is going to be 2 foot deep. So I'm simply going to press line command and draw a line in here. Oh, probably want to make sure you go back to properties and make sure everything's by layer, by layer, by layer. Yeah, good. So that's how you're going to get them shelves in there. Make sure not to forget those. The textbook somehow skipped that step, but I wanted to explain how that works. So go ahead and label everything. Next, once you've got all your labels in, let me explain something. Your blocks might still look like TXT, like digital alarm clock. How to change that, and let me explain what's happened. AutoCAD kind of skipped over that algorithm just for the sake of time. So how to fix it's really easy. You're going to double click on a block, go into block editor mode, but immediately just discard. So you're actually not going to save anything in block editor mode. You're going to discard that. What it's going to do is should update all your blocks. Next, we need to begin working on a porch. We've got a front porch, and then on the side door here we have a stoop. And the way that works is, well, these are outdoor boards. They call them decking, okay? Outdoor lumber decking. So decking comes in 5/4. The thickness is going to be 5/4. 5/4, that's an improper fraction. Well, wait a minute, why 5/4? That's actually 1.25 inches. Well, they leave it as an improper fraction. It's kind of psychological. They want you to think about it. It's a little bit thicker than an inch. Here's the other thing. Each board is 6-inch wide. So 6-inch wide, and so you can fit 2 per foot. Okay, that makes sense. So first things first, we created a porches layer. I'm going to make sure I'm on a porches layer. I'm going to start on this front porch. Well, the front porch, well, it kind of works its way off this front wall. So I'm going to pick line command and draw a line from the left of this front wall all the way over to the right. Next, we're going to use a command we may not have used before. In the modify ribbon, you will find array, A-R-R-A-Y, array. Now, array looks like a Rubik's Cube, and it has a drop-down arrow. There's 3 different types of array. You've got rectangular array, polar array, and path array. We're simply going to use rectangular array. I'm going to select my line and enter the selection. Now, you're going to go into array creation mode here. You see that? Array creation mode. And over here again is the type, but you've got columns and rows and levels. Columns, rows, levels. Rows, columns, levels. Levels is for mostly 3D. Columns. Column goes up and down like this on the y-axis. How many columns do I need? Well, just one. I just need one. But how many rows do I need? Okay, the boards are 6-inch wide, and this porch area is 8 foot to the front of the cabin. So, and you can fit 2 boards per foot. So how many boards is that? Well, it's going to be 16. But here's the thing, AutoCAD doesn't count the first line. So instead of 16 for rows, I'm going to replace that with 17. Underneath that, the space between it, I'm going to put 6-inch, or negative 6 inch. And then simply hit close. Now, here's the thing about an array. AutoCAD, if you notice, treats it all as one entity. It's an array. So it's all one thing. So what to do is this. You're going to want to select your array, or press explode, and then explode the array. It's going to break it up into individual lines. So next, I'm going to press trim. I'm going to select cutting edges. I'm going to select this front edge, and I'm going to trim off all these edges right in here. Ooh, whoa, trimmed a little more than what it should have. Okay, so I guess I got to do it this way. Okay, not a problem. That's what to do. Just come up in between the wall here. There we go. Okay, good. Next, we've got a stoop over here. And they tell me that the side deck, the stoop area, is going to be 6 inches long and 4-inch wide. So I'm going to pick line command. Make sure you're on a porches layer. Line command. From the inside of this water heater, I'm going to draw a line across the threshold of this door, but just make sure that it's going polar north. And if you need to switch from polar to ortho, that's fine. Ortho will only go north. 4 feet, 48 inch. Okay. So now I'm going to pick select that line. What the? 48 inch. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to pick select that line, press rectangular array. Now, this time we only need one row. It's kind of the opposite, one row. But how many columns do I need? 6 feet, and there's 2 boards per foot, so that's going to be 12, but it doesn't count the first one. So we're going to put 13. And then the space between, again, is going to be 6. So it's going to look like that. Next, I still need edges, so I'm going to pick line command again, and I'm going to draw a line from here, perpendicular there, and I need another little short line here. So that's going to be a quick way to get your porches in. Here again, I'm going to explode this porch, just so I can press trim. And really what it is you want to trim, you're going to want to trim out this area here where the label's at. Otherwise, it could be seen as being illegible. Some people like to trim out in here too. That's totally up to you. Now, I kind of want to show you another little trick. I need another line on the edge of this porch here. And we also need, there's an 8-inch cedar post here. 8-inch cedar post, right? 8-inch diameter cedar post. So, still on a porches layer. Let's see. What I can do is pick circle, center diameter. We don't really have a center. I'm just going to randomly draw that and put 8-inch. Next, you're going to want to move that. I'm going to move the lower quadrant perpendicular here, and then shift a quadrant on the left perpendicular here. And you might need to trim here, but here's another little trick. We're kind of missing some labels here. We're kind of missing porch layer label. So I'm going to go to the labels layer again. Where's it at? Room labels. Okay. Porch looks just as big as like living area. And so I'm going to pick multi-line text and make a box somewhere here. But what I need you to understand, it's going to be default 6-inch. What I need you to understand is that if you were to type, watch this. I'm going to make a mistake purposely. So I hit porch. Now, that's illegible, right? There's a way to get around that. Watch this. If I double click to go back into the text editor, and I'm going to select my text, right under text height is mask. What mask will do is it'll take the background and bring it forward. So I'm going to press mask, and I want to use the background mask. When I click on that, it allows me to also check use background color. Background color is back here, model space. So I'm going to use the background color too, and hit OK, and click out of there. And what it does is it blots out whatever's in that text box. Same thing here. So you're going to want to do the same thing here too. Multi-line text, box. What do I call this again? A stoop. Select it, mask. So use background mask, use background color, hit OK, and click out. So that's kind of how to fix those. Okay, next, step 15, hatch the wall. So there should be a layer, it's going to be wall hatch. So now the first thing about hatch, AutoCAD wants you to be in the top view. It's hard to hatch things if you're not in the top view. Second thing is this, it wants to see the whole boundary. So the closer I zoom in, it wants to see the whole boundary of a perimeter. And it calculates a hatch pattern. It can only calculate based on how much of the perimeter that you're zoomed into. So you're going to want to zoom out to the whole perimeter, make sure you can see the whole perimeter. So first off, make sure you're on a hatch layer. We're going to draw the hatch. They tell you to use a solid hatch pattern. And remember, you can change from boundaries, pick point, and select objects. We're going to use pick point because we have pretty funny shaped polygons right now. But see over here, options, associative. Associative means it's going to try to associate that boundary. So we're going to make this non-associative. We know the boundary and we're going to pick the boundary. Another easy way to do that, these lines are very narrow. Line weight, you're temporarily going to hide line weight. That's going to make it a little bit easier to hatch. So next, you're going to begin picking points in between. So I'm going to pick here, zoom in over here, let's see, here, I got to pick here, this little corner, and just keep going. Okay, did I get them all? Yep, so I can exit out of